बिहारी लाल की, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की। प्रथमं गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं तदनन्तरं गुरुपापात्मनां त्रातां श्रीकृष्णस्त्वमलात्मना यशोदया समाकापि देवता नास्ति भूतले उलूखले यया बद्धो मुक्तिदो मुक्तिमिच्छति। अहो वकीयं स्तनकालकूटम् जिघांसयापाययदप्यसाध्वी लेभे गतिं धात्र्युचितां ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees, please join me in a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan. After that, I'll address the topic of choice with you as it relates to our spiritual life. भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला Sarkar ki.
Jai.
Radhe Radhe, everyone. Welcome here to Radha Madhav Dham and our annual Hindu family camp. I'm going to start us off by talking about one thing we have absolutely no choice in, and another thing that we're constantly choosing. The thing that we have no choice in is desiring happiness. No one can eliminate the desire for happiness. No one can choose not to desire happiness. Therefore, no one can choose not to have desires. We all have desires because of the desire for happiness. We all want perfect happiness. We want the best. We want to be happy forever, and we want to have whatever is the most happiness. We want that. That we can't stop. The reason we can't is because we are a part of God. We are ansh of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, and because Bhagwan Shri Krishna is Anand, we naturally desire Anand, because every part is attracted to its whole. We belong to Him. We're a part of Him, just like a drop of water is a part of the ocean. So that drop of water, no matter where it rains down, in what mountain, on what continent, it flows, it runs until it reaches the ocean. The ansh wants to rejoin its anshi. In the same way, we have a natural pull towards God. And since God is that perfect, unlimited, everlasting happiness, we all automatically desire for happiness. We don't have a choice. It's who we are. And because of this desire for happiness, we're driven in the world. Every moment of every day, we are driven to find happiness. So that's the part we don't have a choice in. No choice whether we are going to desire happiness or not. That's why every one of us here does. Every insect, every animal, every plant, they're all souls like us. They also have the same desire to be happy. Where the choice part comes in is where we will seek that happiness. That's our choice. And you might be amazed to know that we only have two options. This world is so amazingly vast and varied. It's an endless universe with so many things to see, taste, touch, hear, and smell. You would think that there must be unlimited different ways to try to fulfill that desire for happiness. But our Vedas simplify the whole thing. They say, nope, you only have two options. Charam pradhanam amritaksharam harak charatmana vishate deva ekah tasya bhidhyanat yojanat tatvabhavad bhuyaschante vishwamaya nivritti. Shvetashvataropanishad. There are three things that exist. One is called char, one is called akchar, and one is called ish. Char means that which is subject to degradation. It has a nature to always fade and deteriorate. This is Maya. Akchar is that which is impervious to deterioration. That is us, the souls. And Ish, our Lord, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, he is the Ish of both Akshar and Kshar. He is the ruler of both the souls and Maya. So there are three things that exist. Teen tattva. And we are one of those tattva, and we are seeking happiness. That leaves us with two options. Bhagwan Shri Krishna or Maya. Ish or Char, according to this mantra. There's no fourth thing. Only these three. Whatever you can imagine in your mind, whatever you can think of, it all belongs in one of these three categories. It's either made of Maya, or it's part of God's personality, or it's one of us, one of the souls. Souls are unlimited in number, but there are no new souls being created. A lot of people think, if you ask like a true or false question, every day new souls are being created. Most people would say, yeah, that sounds nice. True. Nope, false. Whoever is here has always been here. And whoever is here will always be here. We're not getting any new brothers and sisters. And the interesting thing is, all of us brothers and sisters, we're the same age as our mother and father. Radha, Krishna, we're the same age as them. They're also eternal. They've always been here. We didn't make them, and they didn't make us. We say they are our divine mother and father, and we are their children, because they give life to us. They're sitting in our heart, within our soul, giving life. So because they're responsible for us being conscious and sentient, we say Shri Krishna is our father, Radharani is our mother. But they're not older than us. We're the same age. We've all been here forever. They didn't make us, we didn't make them. And in fact, they didn't make Maya, because Maya is also an eternal energy. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. Gita. Gita also makes such a beautiful, fundamental statement, establishing a principle, a scientific principle. If something exists, it can't be made not to exist. And if something doesn't exist, it means it doesn't exist. Even God can't bring it into being. Therefore, even Maya has been here forever. You'll learn more about Maya tomorrow in the interactive class in the morning. So I won't go into much detail tonight. But it's enough to know that Maya is God's power, because he's Ish. So just like he's giving, also powering Maya. Although Maya doesn't have a mind of its own to do anything, it's not alive and sentient like we are, but it still needs help from God, because it can't just decide to create the universe. God has to activate it. And with the will of God, Maya unfolds or evolves into the form of this universe. But it's just an energy, but an energy with unlimited potential. That's why this universe is endless and contains endless variety within it. Just take three colors, the three primary colors. With those three primary colors, you can make not millions, not billions, not trillions of other colors, but infinite other colors. That's just one example of Maya's infinite potential for variation. So you can never run out of things to see and do in Maya. There's always something new. But the thing is, those new things are always getting old, because Maya is Char. That's its nature. So you can always find something new, but then that new thing becomes old. It becomes boring, or it deteriorates. It finishes, just like our bodies will one day, because they're made of Maya. So we have three things. We have Ish, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. He is our Lord because he sits within us, within our soul, and gives us life. And he is Ish of Maya, because Maya is a lifeless and mindless energy which he powers, and with his will, this Maya produces the universe. And we live in this universe, and we seek happiness. And God is in this universe, because Eko Deva Sarvabhuteshu Gudha Sarvavyapi Sarvabhutantaratma Karmadhyaksha Sarvalokadhivasa Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha Shvetashvataropanishad. God is Sarvavyapi. He's everywhere. So he not only resides within us, he resides within every particle of this universe. He permeates all of us and everything. So these are the three things that exist. Shri Krishna, the souls, all of us, and the world we live in. There's no fourth thing. We're seeking happiness. We're the souls. So that leaves two. Where will we seek that happiness? We could choose to seek that happiness in Shri Krishna. We could make that decision. Happiness must be in Shri Krishna. Let me see if I can attain happiness from him. Or we could make the other decision. Happiness must be in this world. Let me see if I can attain happiness from Maya. That's our decision we make every day, many, many times within the day, because we're always being compelled from within. Find happiness, find happiness. So every day we're thinking, okay, where to find happiness? I feel that restlessness. I need happiness. So we're desperately seeking it. Most of the time, and in fact, without being told otherwise, all of the time, we would seek happiness in Maya, because although God is Vyapak, he's within this Maya, he's not visible to us. So we wouldn't automatically know about him or choose to seek happiness from him. Our senses are Mayic, our mind is Mayic, so they're naturally attracted to this Mayic world. Our soul is divine and it's attracted to God, but it's just sending out a signal. That force of attraction towards God, that's like our soul sending a signal. I want Anand. And the mind just interprets it as I want. It doesn't know what Anand is. It doesn't know what God is. But it knows something is missing and it desperately wants to find it. And since the mind is sajatiya with this Mayic world, it's of the same kind, so mind naturally gravitates towards the world. Which means that since eternity, since we're eternal, we've lived uncountable lifetimes, throughout this endless cycle of srishti and pralay, the creation and dissolution of the universe that happens over and over again in every life, we've done one thing and one thing only. Sought happiness from the world, again and again. But we always had another choice. The problem is, without being educated, we don't know about that choice. We think this world is all there is, and although we're unfulfilled, we just keep thinking, well, I just need more of what I have. I just didn't get enough of this world yet. That's why I'm not happy. So we strive for more, and we always think that happiness is just around the corner. Don't you tell yourself that every day? Oh, today happiness was just out of my reach, but if I just do this one more thing, I'll be happy. So we live in hope. All of us live in the hope of finding happiness, but we don't live in happiness. None of us are happy. We're telling ourselves, I'm going to be happy if I just get this, if I just do this. We've spent uncountable lifetimes doing that. So only the Vedic teachings and the saints who represent them on this earth, who teach us what we call Sanatan Dharma, the eternal path to find that true happiness. That is Sanatan Dharma. Only they can make that adjustment in our mind by giving us true knowledge. Because we can't see God, but we know there's something out of place. I've been trying my whole life to find happiness, and I'm still unfulfilled. So the saints, using the Vedic teachings, they fill in that gap for us. They say, of course you're unfulfilled. You're a divine soul, and you're trying to find fulfillment from these temporary, Mayic things. You are Akshar. Akshar can never be fulfilled by something that's Kshar. Sarve kshayanta nichaya patananta samuchraya sanyoga viprayoganta maranantancha jivanam. Valmiki Ramayana. Everything in this world is gradually fading, deteriorating, and finishing, and even every sweet meeting ends in separation, and even life ends in death. So this is the world. Your soul, which is perfectly impervious to the deteriorating effects of Maya, it has a divine quality, and it's alive. That living Chetan Ansh of Satchidanand Atma is going to be satisfied by the deteriorating temporary things of this world, which are jada. How would a Chetan Jeev be satisfied by jada Mayic pleasures, lifeless Mayic pleasures? It's not possible. It's like if someone holds a letter. Here, I've written something on this paper. Can you tell me what it says? You say, hold it in front of my eyes. No, read it with your ears. You say, ears hear sound, eyes see objects and light. So everything has its separate department. Similarly, the department of the soul is God, and the department of our mind and body is the world. Our body, mind, and senses are made of Maya, so they belong to the world, and our soul is of the same family as God. He is divine and Chetan, and so are we. So we can only be satisfied by His divine happiness. This is what the saints tell us. Then we actually have a choice. Until then, we haven't really been making a choice, have we? We've been going with whatever's right in front of us. But now that we have the knowledge, we have a choice. We don't have a choice to desire happiness or not. That's our nature. But we have a choice where to try to fulfill that desire. Once we have the knowledge, we have that choice. Now, there was a boy named Nachiketa, and he got to learn directly from the god of death, Yamraj, about these two, we'll call them paths. You can say a choice, you can also call it two different paths. His father was very famous for being a big dani. Vajashravas was his father's name, and he was doing a big Vedic ceremony where he had to give away a large amount of charity. But his young son, Nachiketa, observed that my father's giving away old cows that can't even give milk anymore. So he's not going to get any punya from that. He has to give some nice young cows with bachara and that are giving milk. Like those, that's the auspicious thing to give. He might end up in Narak for this kind of dan. So he tried to hint to his father that, Father, what are you doing? His father was busy with the rituals, so he wasn't listening. Actually, in this yajna he was doing, he was supposed to give away everything. So finally, to get his attention, Nachiketa said, Father, am I not also yours? Who will you give me to? His father was still ignoring him, but after he said it several times, His father was, he got kind of annoyed, like, I'm trying to do this and you keep chirping in my ear. So he said, I'll give you to Yamraj. And Nachiketa said, Jo Agya, Pitaji. He was happily ready to go to Yamraj, the god of death. So his father said, no, I just got frustrated. I didn't mean it. He said, no, father, in our family, there's a long-standing tradition of truthfulness and honor, and you have given me the Agya to go to Yamraj, so I have to listen to your Agya. So Nachiketa went to Yamraj's place, but Yamraj was out. So he waited for 3 days on his doorstep. 3 days and 3 nights with no food and no water. So when Yamraj returned, he saw this Brahmin boy there, and he was ashamed that you waited here and I didn't welcome you and I didn't treat you like you're supposed to properly treat a visitor. So he said, to make up for it, I'm going to give you 3 boons. So Nachiketa at first asked for the well-being of his father, and he asked for, he wanted to know about this one Vedic yagya. But with the 3rd boon, he said, I want to know what happens after death. So Yamraj, he said, that's kind of a secret, he's thinking to himself. I don't just tell that to anyone. So he wanted to test the resolve of this boy. So he said, I can give you anything. I can make you king of the whole world. I can give you untold wealth. Ask for whatever you want. I can send you to Swarg. The enjoyments of Swarg are so much greater than the enjoyments here on earth. Saisha nandasya mimansa bhavati yuva syat sadhu yuva dhyayakaha ashishto balishto daradhishto tasyayam prithvi sarva vittasya purna syat sa eko manusha anandaha. Taittiriya Upanishad says, if someone were made king or queen of the entire earth, and they were still young and healthy, and they were well-educated, well-mannered, they have a nice family, they're strong, they're kind and generous, they have all the good qualities, that person would get to enjoy 1 unit of earthly happiness. We're like some decimal of that, right? We're far behind that. So if we had that much, we would have 1 unit of earthly happiness. Taittiriya Upanishad says, multiply that by hundreds of times, and you have the happiness of the lowest abode of Swarg. And there are 10 abodes in Swarg, each higher than the next. So the lowest abode of Swarg, you could say it's like the slums of Swarg. Over there, they have hundreds of times more pleasure than that emperor would enjoy here on earth. And then you keep multiplying by hundreds of times as you go up each level until you reach Brahma's abode. So he said, Nachiketa, why don't you ask me to send you to Swarg? You can enjoy those amazing pleasures that you can't even imagine. He was unmoved by all of this. He says, I want to know how to attain real happiness. So Yamraj told him, Tayo shreya adadanasya sadhu bhavati hiyaterthadya upreyo vrinite. This is from Kathopanishad, which recounts this conversation between them. He said, there's 2 paths. One path is called Shreya Marg, and one path is called Preya Marg. Shreya Marg takes you to ultimate happiness, and Preya Marg gives you temporary happiness. So you see, there's our 2 choices. If you choose to pursue the pleasures of Maya as a means of fulfillment, you're following Preya Marg. if you choose to follow the path of bhakti to get perfect happiness from Shri Krishna, then you're following Shreya Marga. There's a shlok written up here. Etavaneva lokesmin punsam nishreyasodayah tivrena bhakti yogena mano mayarpitam sthiram. Bhagavatam. Bhagwan Kapil is telling his mother that Shreya means bhakti. And bhakti means mano mayarpitam sthiram, establishing your mind in me, because Kapil was an avatar of Bhagwan. So establishing your mind in Shri Krishna is bhakti, and that is Shreya Marga. So Yamraj told Nachiketa, if you want perfect happiness, follow Shreya. Shreya means ultimate, the best, the absolute best thing. You want perfect happiness, follow Shreya Marga. Attach your mind to Shri Krishna. If you want more of the same temporary and limited happiness that you get from this world, follow Preya Marga. Preya Marga means you can dharma, arth, kam, sattvic actions, rajas actions, tamas actions, all motivated by a desire for worldly pleasures. You can get different types of worldly happiness, but all of those are temporary. Even if you go to Swarg, over there you get sattvic happiness of great limit, but it's still temporary. Swargahu swalpa anta dukkhadai. Tulsidas Ji says, even though it's millions and billions of times greater than the pleasures here, he's calling it swalp. It's insignificant compared to the happiness you would get from Shri Krishna, which is the ultimate bliss. And he says, anta dukkhadai. You don't even get to stay in Swarg forever. It's a temporary reward. And once you use up all of your punya, you return here. And you start again, right where we are today, if you're lucky, if you're not born in lower species. So Preya Marg offers us a chance to enjoy so many different kinds of pleasures in this world, but guess what? We've enjoyed them all already. There's nothing we haven't tried, nothing we haven't tasted, nothing we haven't already done. We've lived uncountable lifetimes, so just do the math. In unlimited, infinite lifetimes, you would have been everything and done everything. You've been following Preya Marg around and around in this Mayic existence for unlimited lifetimes, and where are you today? Still unfulfilled, looking for perfect happiness. So it's time we try out Shreya Marg, which you've already made that decision. That's why you came to Radha Madhav Dham. It's very rare. Think about the decision you made to take a whole week out of your life. I know the value of a week because in my schedule of prachar, every week is like a unit, right? I can go a place for a week, I can go here for a week, I can go there for a week. There's only 52 weeks in the year. It's so limiting. You don't have much time in a year. You took a whole week to come here because you want to get closer to Shri Krishna. It means you made a decision that took you on Shreya Marg. All of us, we still make decisions that inch us back towards Preya Marg because we haven't given up the hope of finding happiness in this world. But you've taken a step on the path of Shreya by coming here. And that's what we're going to be doing. Because in Sanatan Dharma, both types of teachings are there. Shreya Marg is described, the path of bhakti is described, and Preya Marg is described. If someone isn't interested in God, then how to find happiness in the world is also fully explained. But with the, you have to understand that it's a limiting temporary happiness. It's all there in Sanatana Dharma. We've had enough of Preya Marg, and we're all experts in that. So we're going to focus on Shreya Marg, which is the essence of Sanatana Dharma, because that's where all the teachings are really trying to get us to. Shreya Marg is the path of bhakti. And bhakti, simply put, is attaching your mind to God. Although in our scriptures, bhakti is said to have 9 main forms. In Bhagavatam it says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyamatma Nivedanam. This is called Navadha Bhakti. Many people are familiar with this Navadha Bhakti, which is 9 different ways of worshiping God, that all those different ways help you attach your mind to God. But out of those 9, in the Bhagavatam, 3 are given prime importance. Tasmat sarvatmana rajan harihi sarvatra sarvada Shrotavya kirtitavyascha smartavyo bhagavan nrinam. Shukdev ji tells King Parikshit that you should spend every moment of the rest of your life doing Shravana Bhakti, Kirtana Bhakti, and Smarana Bhakti. Shravana Bhakti you're doing right now. I'm doing Kirtan. Kirtan is not just singing God's name, it's also telling God's philosophy, telling His leelas. That's also called Kirtan. So I'm doing Kirtan Bhakti, you're doing Shravana Bhakti. But if you're not doing Smarana along with your Shravan, Shravana means listening. If your mind isn't engaged, Smarana means the mind is engaged. So you're thinking about what I'm saying. It's not just going in your ears, it's going in your mind, in your heart. If your mind is somewhere else, your Shravana Bhakti is not going to, you won't even remember what I said when you walk out of here. So Shravana on its own has no value. Kirtan on its own has no value. If we just keep chanting God's names, if we just sat here from now until we died, and we kept doing Kirtan but never thought of Krishna, we never did Smaran, at the time Yamraj came for us, we would still not be God realized. We would not have attained Shreya because we didn't attach our mind to Him. So even though Shravan and Kirtan are important, they're important because they help us, they enhance our smaran. If you were just sitting here in silence for the last half hour, instead of me talking, who knows what you would have been thinking about? Even if I had said, just do smaran of Shri Krishna, we're going to sit here for the next 30 minutes. All of our minds would have been everywhere. We would have circled the globe many, many times. But we wouldn't have been able to do much smaran of Shri Krishna. So hopefully my kirtan is helping you do smaran right now. And later when we do chanting, that's also kirtan, that's also to help us focus our mind on Shri Krishna. But the smaran is key. That's why Veda Vyasji, who is the author of the Bhagavatam, when he was thinking, there's so many teachings, Vedas are vast, and there's another 4 lakh shloks in the Puran, and another 1 lakh in Mahabharata, and Darshan Shastras, so many scriptures. How are people going to know what is the essence of all of that? He said, let me do manthan. You want the essence to come out, you churn it, right? And the cream rises to the top. So he said, I'll do manthan. Alodya sarvashastrani vicharya cha punah punah idamekam sunishpannam dhyeyo narayano hari. He says doing dhyan on Hari is the Nishkarsh. I did manthan of the scriptures over and over again, and one thing rose to the top. That is dhyan. Dhyan means smaran, remembering or meditating on or thinking of Shri Krishna. He said that's the essence of everything. So whatever we teach here at Radha Madhav Dham, as we've been instructed by Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, it's all coming to that central core, which is just how much time are we actually spending remembering Radha Krishna? That's the core of it. So we're here at the family camp to take some more steps on this Shreya Marg as we're applying these teachings of Sanatan Dharma into our life. Everything I shared with you tonight, these are basic principles of Sanatan Dharma that clarify the goal of life and how to attain it. So during this week, we're going to be putting all of that into practice. And you can basically say, if you're remembering Radha Krishna, you've applied the teachings. And if you're not remembering them, then you have those teachings somewhere in your intellect, but they're not being applied at the moment. So smaran, or as Sri Maharaji said, Roop Dhyan. Roop Dhyan is just another, you can say it's like, how do I do smaran? This is how. Roop Dhyan. Think of the form of Radha Krishna. Think of the form of Sri Maharaji. Form is Roop and Dhyan is remembering. So if you just say, okay, remember Krishna, you don't know, what should I think? Think of his form. It's very simple. And you can be with him. You can be his friend, his beloved, his parent. You can make up any Leela you want with him, or think of Leelas you know that Maharajji or Surdas or Vedavyasji has described. But just Roop Dhyan.